Okay, getting started with installing Linux on my other computer. First I have to get me a USB stick ready, so I downloaded Balena Etcher. Okay, to make a USB stick uh, to go into, in other words, a Zorin stick, USB flash drive to boot up, we have to go, in my case, I'm going to Zorin.com to get the download file, the ISO file, and I'm just going to click on this link that says download Zorin OS. When you're finished downloading, the file will appear in your downloads up here. You don't have to save or do anything to it because it'll be in your download file, and that'll take care of that. Okay, next I'm going to go to I downloaded Balena Etcher, actually Etcher, but I'm going to show you where you get that. You go to their site, and it says, and it's balenaetcher.com. I'll leave a link for that too. It says download Etcher right here. Click on download and it asks you to download it. Once it's downloaded, this up again. Now, here's the screen you want. Double click on this here to open that up, and you'll see that what we've got is flash from file, flash from URL, or clone drive. What I'll do is flash from file. So we'll flash that, and it's going to ask me what. So there's my downloads popped up. So I'm going to take Zorin 64 there, which is the latest release, and we'll open that. That's going to say, now it's going to be highlighted, select target. The target's going to be the generic flash USB drive, which is only 62 gigabytes. So I'm going to select that, put your check marks on it there, right there beside it, and we'll select it. And then next it says flash. I'm going to click flash. And then it's going to ask me yes, so I'm going to take yes. And then right here you'll see that the drive is starting to flash. Little line will run across it, and when it gets all the way across, you can see the pink now, 1%, 2%, 3%, as it goes. Now this will take a while, about 10 or 15 minutes, so I'm just going to show you the starting. Once the flash has got all the way over to 100%, then it'll go back and validate that USB stick so that you'll know that it's a good working stick. So once it flashes and once it validates it, then you've got a USB stick you're ready to put into the computer you're installing Linux on. Okay, to get that file that we downloaded to flash, you have to go to Zorin. I'll leave a link to that below. You have to go to Zorin's website, and you scroll down to you see download Zorin OS. Right here, when you click on that, you'll start your download. And like in my computer, up in the top right hand corner, it'll say your downloads, and it'll show you when it's finished. And you don't have to save or anything, just leave it in your download file, because that's what it'll pick up when you go to Balena Etcher to do your installation. Okay, we want to go over a few things here in the boot screen. When I turn my computer on, I press the delete button a few times so I'll come up to the BIOS utility in my ASUS motherboard. This shows the drives down at the bottom that are installed. I want to go to, on mine, yours will be different, I want to go to the advanced mode, and I'll see just what we have set up here. The main, everything is okay, system language, time, and all that. Don't want to tweak anything, so I want to go to the advanced mode. Biggest thing here is the SATA configuration. It was set to IDE over here. You can change it to IDE, RAID, or HCI. I changed them both to HCI because that's what SATA is running on my computer. And if I don't select that, Linux may not do anything with it. Then I go to the boot mode over here, and it says I got my Samsung first, but I want to use my USB drive first. So I select what's called UEFI USB drive that I have. Select that as the first one, Samsung as the second one, and disable the third boot option. Then we'll go up here to Exit, Save Changes. It's right here in the very middle in there, and I'll say yes. And now my computer will boot from my USB drive and start loading all the optimal drivers that it needs. And you hear the beep there. And one other thing you want to keep in mind, your USB sticks, since you have USB ports in the front of your computer and in the back of your computer, the ones in the front are running off headers off your motherboard. May not be the same. They may be IDE set up. So I always put my stick in the back of the computer because that's the main USB ports, and that's where you usually get your best connection. Front USB ports, like I say, are hooked to the motherboard. They run off separate SATA controllers, and you don't always get a quick setup. Right now we're flashing pretty heavy, so something must be getting ready to load here. Okay, we're going to start up with our USB stick. Okay, I want to go down to NVIDIA drivers right there, because my computer has video card with NVIDIA drivers. So hit that, selected that, and it will go on and start to install. And like I said, I use sticks with activity lights on so I can see when they're writing, or otherwise you're just sitting around waiting for long periods of time and nothing's actually happening. Sticks with the lights on, you can tell the activity light, if it's flashing, it's installing something. There we go. Light's still flashing pretty good, so we're still installing and writing. Okay, we're coming up to the NVIDIA drivers now that I selected at the very start of the boot. Without NVIDIA drivers, this will fail, since I've got an NVIDIA graphics card in my computer. Now we're coming up to the desktop. comes the time where you have to decide you want to try it or you want to fully install. Since I have no Windows on this computer, I have no hard drives hooked up right now, just the USB drive. I'll install I'll plug in a Samsung, I got it right here. I'll put a Samsung Evo 870 in here, an SSD drive. So it's asking me try OS. I think I'll put try in here for right now before I do any installation. This will give me a option to try this out before I fully install it. This is about a 40-minute process to start to finish. Looking at the legacy drivers for the NVIDIA card. Now I'll get the keyboard layout, the English, and the way I want to set what actually it automatically sets up to try, and there it is. So the desktop's up, I have the icons at the bottom. Now if I shut the computer off now, I've lost everything. USB stick will start all over again and do the same thing right back up to this desktop. So in order to make this permanent, up in the top left hand corner you'll see the blue down link. I would have to click that to download it. And to download it, I'm going to have to put this Samsung hard drive in it. So I'm going to do that now and take a pause. Okay, I've plugged in the Samsung hard drive. Now, to make sure that we got what we want, we've got a full set of utilities here already. I can go up to all apps, go down to disk right here, and see what's installed. And it shows me right here is a Samsung hard drive. It's already got a boot partition on it. File system, this is Linux file system, FAT32. Bit version is not mounted. I think I'll mount that. That's mounted now. Partition 1. Partition 3. Mount that one. 1 megabyte I don't need to fool with. So that's pretty much what I've learned so far, either mounted or unmounted. I don't know if it does it for you automatically. Of course up here is the 32 gigabyte USB drive, and it's mounted, so I figure if it's mounted and that's mounted over here, then I need to have mine mounted. So we'll restart the computer. Oh no, I'm not either. I'm going to download it from up here. I don't have to restart it. Double click that, you'll get a little circle, and it's going to take you through the setup. Since I got the 500 gigabyte on there, it can't load the USB stick because there's not enough space on it. It's asking me for English, for US, got that. English for the keyboard, not that. Download updates, install, I'll do that. And the next screen is going to be the installation screen. From what I've read, there's 2 of those screens, one automatic and one you have to partition yourself. So since I mounted it also for a minute ago, it may go straight into the erase disk. And okay, it says the installer has detected that following disks have mounted partitions. So I guess I want to unmount them. Probably wasn't supposed to mount them then. Okay, erase the disk and install Zorin OS. So that's the screen I wanted. It says install Zorin alongside Zorin I just put up there, but I don't want to do that, because that's the one that just came up on the USB stick. So we'll see how far we go on this. There's the United States time zone, New York. Type me a password in, or my name in. So I'll just put that on here and choose a short password. This is also the password you use to get into the internet. Okay, continue. I'm going to log in automatically. I'm not going to require a password. So it's calculating the space. See what happens here. Alright, it's starting to copy the files. This should take about 35 minutes. Like I said, you can skip through this on the video to the end of it, or you can watch the files as they're copying. Of course, when you come to the end, from the install instructions I got, when this is finished, it'll ask you to restart your computer, and when you hit OK, it'll ask you to take the USB media out so it doesn't boot up from the USB stick again, because everything should be on the hard drive. If it was copying to the USB stick, it would tell me right now not enough space on it. Only 32 gigabytes. Okay, it's getting pretty close to the end here. It's almost finished copying files is what it says. I'll be able to zoom in a little closer on that. And the orange behind it, that's the desktop for the Linux Try before you install. Once we get this blue line finished, I'll go back and probably run another blue line across there to install the files. There we go. Now we're installing the system. Now we're configuring a system and retrieving files. before about little USB sticks. These are the sticks, the little red ones, small, they come in different colors. But you can see it's got a light on the back of it, and they really flash. Those are the ones I like. If you get a pack that has no visible light on it, or clear area, you can't tell what's going on, if it's writing files or not. Right now that USB stick's flashing away, so it's installing files to the hard drive. Now we're removing the files that weren't needed for installation. They were needed for installation, but they're no longer needed for the final install, so they're removing those files, and such as foreign languages, different languages other than English. Running dpkg. I think there's a whole different ball game than Windows. Different file systems, different everything, and so there is a learning curve there. But so far I've done as much research as I can on the internet, checked things out, YouTube videos, done my own experimenting, called customer service about this section, in which they do have great customer service. It's by email, but it's fast. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 days. You usually get an answer the same day or the next morning. configuring Linux modules. And of course, you can see the little cursor going around there that's showing the progress too. The little round whirligigs, I call it. And if you want to see what's actually been installed, you can actually move this up a little bit. Or push that. There we go. Now you can actually see the files that are being installed. That's the code being written. The date, the time, and everything on it. But it's not something I'm going to understand all that, so I usually don't fool with it. I just kind of watch the blue line and see what's happening. Now it's copying installation logs. Now, here we go, we're up there. So, installation is complete. It wants me to continue testing or restart now. So, let me pause this a second and take my hard drive out. Okay, I've never tried to continue testing, so I'm going to try that. See what continued testing actually does. The USB drive is flashing, so I guess continued testing would be a good thing to do, because if I get any errors, it would show up here that they can correct now. And change backgrounds if I want to. I can go on through that. Might look at the backgrounds and see what they look like. There's quite a few backgrounds here. And this is the core version, so I don't have the Pro on here. Pro has a whole lot more backgrounds on it. And I haven't got to that yet. So we went to that background. Changed a little bit. And I guess this testing has worked out all right. I'm going to look at the disk one more time. All apps. There's my 500 gigabyte. It did unmount the ones I mounted here. It did unmount it. The file system, 500 gigabyte right here, is mounted. It's got that little arrow on it. The other one system is unmounted. The partition 1 gigabytes is nothing. 1 megabyte rather. Contents is FAT32 version not mounted. And this device is the SDB2, in case I ever wanted to copy this or something. File system over here is SDB3. So it looks like that is, don't want to do anything to it. So I'll just let that go and restart it. Restart. Okay, looks like it's coming back up. There's the beep. Okay, the restart. Come back up if we get a big Z. Yeah, there's the big Z. So it took. So that'll take us back up to the home screen. Once it's back up there, the full install is good on that hard drive. Takes a minute or so to boot up since probably writing some files in the background to since this is a restart from the installation. Now there it goes. I should have some more backgrounds available in this Pro version. Cursor should pop up and in the background. There's the cursor. There we go. You can see the cursor moving around. Should hop up to the desktop now. There it comes. There's the desktop I've selected. So before you can right click, change backgrounds. There's quite a few more backgrounds on the Pro version than there is just the normal version, core version. You can see those here. The original background was that one. That's what we came up with first time, and then changed it to like this one here too. That's a nice one. But the purple one gives me a little bit darker screen. So in the top, you notice up here, downloaded Zorin Pro is not there because I've already downloaded that. That's in another video. And we're ready to go. So there's the internet browser. They call it the Brave browser. It's different than Windows or any other browser. Has its security features to it, and it's password protected also. Password you created when you started up, it's asking for it now. So type that in, unlock. So when I unlock it, I can now go to the browser. And this is a browser that trackers, data, ad blockers. It's got all this up here. Bandwidth savers, time saved. Want to search something, click in the bar at the bottom, it comes up the top, and you just type in whatever you want. I'll just go to Yahoo real quick. And you're on the internet. So there's your news. And you can go to wherever you want to, Google, you can go put whatever browser you want on it. But I don't have anything on the desktop yet, so haven't set my mail up, so there we are. That should take care of it. Linux Zorin 17.3. This is the final Pro version I downloaded, paid version. The one we uploaded to start with was the core version, because it has fewer files in it. Once we get that up, then I just download the Pro and put my key in, and there we are. Thank you for watching.